Hi everyone, I'm Precious Irioweri. Today we're going to be talking about something that affects and impacts all of us. This is one thing that affects society at large, and that is financial empowerment and smart money management skills. So whether you're listening to me while working hard in the city of Lagos, or building a small business in Abuja and grinding hard in the heart of Warri, anywhere else in the globe, smart money management skills and financial empowerment is going to unleash you strategies that you're going to be able to use to control your finances and to secure a bright and a great future. Having understood why financial empowerment and financial literacy is important, let's move on to the bedrock of a healthy financial management, and that is budgeting, right budgeting. So what is budgeting and how do you go about budgeting? So budgeting is actually having to make a list of all of your income sources. Then whether you're earning on wages or you're earning on salary from your physical labor, you just have to make a list of all of your income sources. And having listed your income sources, you have to create a tracking system to this. Having a tracking system, you have your eyes and your heart and your hands on your budget. Now we have numerous and countless number of apps in this 21st century you can use to make track for your budgeting. We have the money manager, we have the mint, and even the simple notepad on your mobile phone can also be used for that purpose. So in having to create a tracking system and having to make a budget list of your income source, and for a time frame, say like a month, now you want to move over to listing out the essentials to the non-essentials. Essentials like having to pay your rentage, having to pay your transportation, and even having to pay for what you have to feed on. So you have to make a budget list for this, which I've categorized as the essentials. And then you also have non-essentials, having to go for party with friends, having to register for the pool, having to take your girlfriend out on dates, this and so many other things. Not that they are not of importance, but in prioritization they have a degree to which they come, and then the essentials must come first in regards to your budget. Having understood this mobile app and smart apps that you can use for right budgeting, the next thing you want to do is having to save up emergency funds. Emergency funds is the money you save for what the regular Nigerian will call brigade. Brigade is an emergency that comes, or unforeseen circumstance that comes when you are less prepared for, or when they are most unexpected, and which in a natural time they always tend to occur. Even saving a few naira can help. Having to save up daily, it adds up over time. Saving a few naira, or if you're opportune, you can even save in the US dollar or a more stable currency as the opportunity avails. This way you're putting yourself at an advantage point, not only for emergency purpose, but also to safeguard against inflation and devaluation of your own currency. There is a popular saying that if you save for the rainy day, you will be saved on the raining day. So having understood this places a priority on the need for savings. Now moving over from savings, we want to establish also on spending. This has to do with stretching your naira, stretching your dollar, or stretching whatever currency you are spending on. In this view, we want to make an understanding of what need is and what your want is. Your needs are the things that are very essential and they are basic to survival. You and I cannot do without our needs, while the wants are the things you also desire, but you can create an alternative for them, or you can actually do without them for a certain amount of time because they are not in the list of your essential. So in terms of spendings and how you stretch your naira or your dollar, what you need to do mostly is this: prioritize your essentials. Put high priority on spending on your essentials and create alternatives at your best for the non-essentials. So what is not most important and not of high urgency, you can create an alternative for them, or you can make postponement for a later time and put priority on the things that are most essential to you. Another thing also to put to note is this: place priority too on pricing. It's very, very essential. You have to go hard and be frugal to some extent on how you go about your spending. If you're not making money lavishly, you don't want to be spending money lavishly. You want to be wise in your spendings. Look for local shops and wholesale stores where you can get the best affordable prices if it is available or near to where you are, rather than spending on high price where you can get same product, same quality at a lower price. Go for the most affordable. That's a wise spending. I once have a personal instance where I went into a shop and I was to buy a particular cloth personally, and in the boutique I was given a price, and as a normal businessman I'm open to negotiating at every time, and I told this man, you're giving me the sum for this cloth at a particular amount, how about I renegotiate the price for this? And a particular friend of mine saw me and he was like, Precious, you the price? And I was like, I never turned Odogun yet, why I not go price? You get, pricing is actually a strategic skill that every entrepreneurs need to be able to learn. It's called negotiation, professionally speaking. How about we talk about saving and investing? There's this rule of savings and investing that speaks about what you should save and how you should invest. We've established that you have to save up for the rainy days so you don't get wet during the raining days. Now, in regards to investing, you have to invest wisely also. Make sure you're investing with lower risk and higher interest rates, not high interest rates with high risk involved. The higher the risk, the higher your chances of having to lose. Also, if you put grades to it, the higher the risk, the higher the profits. But mind you, we're talking about smart investing. You don't want to put into your investment what you cannot lose if you want to stay smart about it. Now, when we're talking about investing, we're talking about saving up for the future, not necessarily for the now. Investing might not get you what you need now, because investing is like putting a seed to the ground. You can't just put a seed to the ground and harvest that seed the same day and expect to have it become a fruit. You have to put it to the ground, you have to till it, you have to water it, you have to nurture it, you have to weed the ground, and you have to give it time in process to germinate and become a tree that can bear fruit over time. So investing is actually making preparation for a future time, which can be short term or long term. So when we're talking about saving and investing, you want to start small and grow big over time. Now, this is where greed comes. I love this book so much, The Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this man made mention about investing and growing your financial buoyancy. And it brought into play that there is a place or a thin line of balance between greed and guilt. When you don't put in good enough guilt, that is when you have people who don't take action in regards to investing because they don't feel the need to take risks. Now, when we talk about greed, we still have to put some balance to it, because the extreme at greed is going to lead to someone who can step and pounce on people's head and actually do the unruly and the misbehavings to make for ends meet or take up. When we talk about greed at the extreme, on the other end, this is where we now talk about people who go beyond the extremes and do the unruly and even get to the extent of having to hurt people to make for their own personal growth and success. So Robert Kiyosaki established in The Rich Dad Poor Dad that we have to make a balance between our greed and our guilt. In essence, when we talk about savings and investing, you want to make sure that you start small and you grow big. Personally, I only know two things that start big and start from the top. The first of it is swimming, and the second of it is having to get buried after death. These two things are the only two things that I can personally speak of. And you have to start big and you have to start from the top, growing down. But when we're talking about savings and investing, you have to start small. You have to start from the low level till you grow. So you grow from scratch over to cash and not the other way around. So also, when we talk about savings and investing, or you want to start with opportunities that can help you with almost no cost at savings or have high interest rates once you invest into them. A keen understanding of savings and investing is really going to help you a long way. There are lots of platforms you can go out there on the internet to check, do your due diligence and research carefully and cautiously. There are so many platforms that can help you to diversify your investment, and they can also help you to come up with high income yields if you actually take up with what? Smart investment strategies. So in diversifying your investments, you want to be on the lookout for risk. You want to make sure that you have a proper risk management system in place to make sure that you curtail for excesses and that you're able to have your income within check. The idea is to make more and not to lose more. So another thing you also want to do in terms of practical strategies you can actually use to up your game financially. One of these is to expand your hustle. Whatsoever you are into, whatever business or job you are into, you have a job, you have a career, or you work with an NGO, an organization or whatsoever. Now, one thing you want to put to play is you want to add up some side hustle. You want to add up some side hustle to your primary income stream. Now, you can go online and you can register for several platforms. There are lots of self-help platforms and a lot of income potential platforms that you can actually logged up with or registered and signed up to it, and they can help you if you've got some skills, some practical skills skills that can be sellable, marketable skills. There are platforms online that you can get registered onto, and once you can maximize these platforms, this platform actually would need some. And once you can actually maximize these platforms, firstly, what you want to do is to make sure you understand how these platforms work. Then you want to up your game in terms of optimizing your skill set, because we're in the 21st century where currency right now is the skills you've got, the crafty skills, the online skills, the technical skills, the digital skills. Maximizing and optimizing is the key and the game changer. Another thing you also want to do is to build financial resilience. And when we're talking about resilience, we're talking about building the strength, the stamina, the agility to withstand some external forces. And we're talking about poverty here. Building this financial resilience can start with as little as saving up to 3 to 6 months ahead of your expenses. If you can be able to save up to 3 to 6 months of your expenses, you have put yourself on a plane whereby you are insured to some level that for the next 3 to 6 months, regardless of what happens to your income source or your income stream, your savings can be something you can fall back upon or to fall back to.